They may look like they're going to play out from the back, and Edison will hit the centre forward, and then they're out. Everything's organised, everything's done on the training pitch, but Ange would have done his homework.
Let's go to Rangers. Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, Rangers 2, St Mirren 0. The Ibrox side have got some more breathing space. Abdallah Sima again, the ball was played through to him just outside the box, and he's calmly slotted it past the St Mirren goalkeeper Zach Hemming. It is being checked for possible offside, but that check is complete and it is not offside. So Rangers 2, St Mirren 0. 70 minutes gone.
Thank you, Kenny. We're about to get underway. Our referee is Simon Hooper. Dion, if when you're under Homes Under the Hammer, if you walked into a bedroom that had the colour shirts that Tottenham, how would you describe the shirts of that Tottenham third strip?
I would go with sort of a light mushroom.
Mushroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Mushroom brown.
Eh?
Didn't even have to take the stairs to get the answer. We're underway. Dion Dublin is with us, BBC Radio 5 Live. I do like that. Mushroom.
Ask the question, I'll give the answer, sir.
City in their sky blue shirts and white shorts are playing from left to right, and Tottenham Hotspur, for what we're describing as a mushroom brown, are playing from right to left. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live as the ball is kept in play on that far side, just about. We're also live on the World Service, so wherever you are in the world, always a pleasure to have your company. I hope it's slightly warmer and drier wherever you are, because it's cold and wet and bleak here at the Etihad, but we're looking forward to this contest. Although imagine if Tottenham Hotspur didn't have 10 players missing. I mean, I can't help but feel they're going into a fight with one arm behind the back.
Yeah, they are, but again, Ange knows he's got the quality. There's lots of teams that have got lots of injuries as well, so I don't think it's any excuse for anybody.
Foden to Walker, up against his former side, of course, Kyle Walker, as he makes his 250th start for Manchester City here today, the captain, and during his time at Tottenham, 229 appearances after he was signed from Sheffield United. Ball goes back to the recent England captain, of course, Kyle Walker, down the line, laid off first time by Foden, gives it back to him by Bernardo Silva, still inside the Manchester City half. Interesting there that Ben Davies had actually tracked Foden, drifting out to what would have normally been his left-back position, and now he has to get back into that central area as Doku carries the ball forward. Doku enters the penalty area and it goes behind, and it will be a corner kick to Manchester City. Before the game, Jeremy Doku, 11 more dribbles than any other player this season. He's made an impact.
Yeah, he has, and he's just, leave me alone, don't go anywhere near me, I don't want overlaps, I don't want anybody underlapping me, just leave me one-on-one. They'll inevitably go 2-on-1, and then you've got a spare player.
So Manchester City with an early corner kick, far side the left. In it comes now, aimed towards the near post where Akanji challenged Vicario, all in yellow. It's gone behind and out for a goal kick. In the FA Cup second round, there's been another goal at Wrexham. Sani Radravajula.
And it's Andy Cannon who's fired Wrexham into a 2-goal lead into injury time. Cross came in, it was headed away, and he struck it pure as you like. Keeper got a touch, but not enough. Wrexham 2, Yeovil 0.
They'll be away to Shrewsbury Town in the third round. There was some cracking ties in the draw earlier. Arsenal against Liverpool, Sunderland, Newcastle United, Manchester City against Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield will hope to avoid that heavy 10-1 defeat back in the late 80s, I seem to recall. Tottenham, Burnley, Wigan, Manchester United, Middlesbrough, Aston Villa and Maidstone United of the National League South against either Stevenage or Port Vale. The other ties I haven't mentioned, the full details will be on the BBC Sport website, and of course you can fire up the BBC Sport app and still listen to the commentary. It's a long throw, releases Haaland away on the left hand side, and sliding across was Emerson, and it's another City corner kick.
Yeah, Haaland again making a really good run into that left-hand side, right-hand side of Spurs', really stretching that defence, making those gaps big for the midfield runners as well. Sometimes he runs not to receive it, but for his teammate.
So corner kick to Manchester City, again far side the left. The last one went to the near post for Akanji. That's where Haaland's now making that run, just goes over his head, and then Hill clears it away. Byron Hill, the Spaniard, who's actually only making his fourth league start for Tottenham Hotspur today, as Foden carries the ball forward on the right hand side. Udogie makes the challenge, sliding on the wet surface with Foden, and now Ben Davies, as Tottenham will try and play their way out. as they're going to be penned in there by Manchester City. Went out of play, Hill unable to keep it in, and it's been kicked away by Lo Celso. Bald-headed referee Simon Hooper says that is a throw to Manchester City, which is taken by Kyle Walker. Got a good throw of that towards Alvarez, dispossessed though by Kulusevski. Runs forward. The minute Tottenham Hotspur have struggled to get out of their own half in these opening 5 minutes as Davies plays it back towards Vicario, but in that sense they still haven't had any major scares as ball goes back, cleared away by Vicario to Udogie. Lo Celso's given it away, loses out to Foden, runs forward, opens it up, Doku just outside the area on his right foot, onto his left, shoots, Vicario makes the save, spills loose. Didn't go out of play, yes it did, corner kick. All of a sudden Tottenham are just being pushed back.
Yeah, they are, they're trying to play their way. It's great to see, but they're playing against a side today that have organised themselves to make sure they squeeze together, no gaps. It's never just one person going, ball gets played loose, Foden finds Doku and he leaves him alone, pulls it onto his left foot, swings it, keeper can't hold it.
Another corner kick, and again on that far side, the left. City playing from left to right. It's an in-swinger, pushed out well under pressure by Vicario. Hill turns, releases it well, and now Kulusevski, when the break is on and Son is bursting forward, and Son will get there ahead of Doku, and all of a sudden it's 2 against 1. Son enters the penalty area and Tottenham Hotspur lead. Classic counter-attack, and Tottenham Hotspur score the opening goal inside 6 minutes. Hill and Kulusevski integral to the build-up, and then Son with a finish, and Manchester City stunned.
Well, I was surprised that Kulusevski played that ball when he did, because as they broke down the left-hand side, Kulusevski kind of receives the ball on the halfway line, not too far away from the dugouts and the two managers watching. He plays the ball over the top for Son, and Doku has 60-40 in his favour. Son, we know what he's like. He never lets anybody relax, especially defenders. Gets in front of Doku, nods it past him, is near enough on the corner of the 6-yard box, puts it across the keeper. It's the pace of the strike that Ederson can't stop, because he gets a bit on it, but Son's deadly in those positions. What a break, what a finish.
And all of a sudden one can't help but feel that the blue touch paper has just been lit.
Yeah, of course, and have you awoke the beast now, so to speak, but we shall see.
Wrexham 2, Yeovil 0 is a half-time score in the FA Cup second round. But Hill and Kulusevski both did very, very well in the build-up, from Vicario pushing it out under pressure. And Manchester City, who had all the play really, as it comes across now towards Bernardo Silva. No, Udogie will get there first, and Udogie will try and run it out of the penalty box to Hill, who stumbles out of play. It goes for a throw. Tottenham Hotspur fans will not be getting carried away. If you recall, when they met here back in January, Spurs were 2-0 up at half-time, and still Manchester City ran out 4-2 winners. And also Tottenham Hotspur fans will know that they scored first against Chelsea, against Wolves and Aston Villa, and ended up losing all three. Although, in the history of the Premier League, no team has scored first and lost all 4 in consecutive games. We will wait and see. 8 minutes played, Spurs lead 1-0. Free kick to Manchester City, Alvarez to take it, right-footed, Haaland tries to get there, and an outstretched leg guides it past the outstretched Vicario, and Manchester City were not behind for very, very long. Manchester City are level, it's 1-1. And that will go down, I think, as an own goal, maybe off Son.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on, to be honest with you. We're just looking again. Yeah, I think that we're looking at an offside, but I don't think it actually touches I think it comes off Son. I think it's Son. What happens is Bernardo Silva looks like he's going to make it an in-swinger. It's not Alvarez out-swinger. It looks like that Haaland's going to head it, and Haaland doesn't get enough on it. They're expecting Haaland to head it. The keeper set himself for a Haaland head, goes past him, and it hits Son about 8 yards out, centre of the goal. Hits him on the right thigh, past the keeper. Son can do nothing about it.
Well, that didn't last very long, did it? What was it, 3 minutes? There was a check for VAR. Every goal's checked, of course. Ange Postecoglou just watches on, unmoved. And we're back level. Manchester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. And Pep Guardiola was right. This game could be anything. Alvarez coming forward. Emerson stops the ball on the edge of his D. Kulusevski tries to get away from Rodri. He's got the pace to beat Rodri. Rodri trying to get back at him. Kulusevski runs forward, midway through the City half, drifting out towards this near side, the left. Here is Hill, level the penalty area to Kulusevski. The back heel blocked by Diaz. Out of play, it goes for a throw.
What a game we've got. What a game. 2 early goals as well. Within 10 minutes, both teams trying to play out from the back. City now allowing Spurs to have the ball in the middle of the pitch. This could be anything. It's 2 goals in quick succession. But this goes to show you cannot switch off when playing against City. They will always create chances.
It's certainly going to be a bumper edition of Match of the Day 2 tonight on BBC One at 10:30, considering Bournemouth 2, Aston Villa 2, Chelsea 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Liverpool with 2 late goals to beat Fulham by 4 goals to 3, West Ham United 1, Crystal Palace 1, and already it's 1-1 here as Akanji ties it up. Back pass to Edison, he finds Rodri and he lays it off towards Akanji. 11 minutes played, 1-1.
The beauty of seeing that ball back. I mean, Son and Akanji having a race there, but Edison puts himself in a position where he can help his teammates out. And when the ball goes to Edison, he plays the right pace pass to his teammates so they can play it first time. Very clever with his feet.
Incidentally, Tottenham, who have scored in each of their last 26 games in the Premier League, it actually matches the run that they achieved in the old First Division under David Pleat in the 86-87 campaign, when that really was an excellent side. I think that was the year that Clive Allen scored, 49 goals as Foden for the Sky Blue of Manchester City, back towards Kyle Walker. And now with Edison all in green away towards our left-hand side. He clears long, off the chest nicely by Gvardiol. Doku's ahead of him. Inside, the supporting run will come from Alvarez, who's got a bit of area here. Finds Foden outside the penalty area, onto his left foot. Foden shoots, took a bit of deflections, might fall to Bernardo Silva, tries to lift it, patted down by Vicario, and then saved by the Italian goalkeeper, all in yellow, away towards your right-hand side. You can't take your eyes off this game for a minute.
No, it's so quick as well. I mean, Tottenham on the full court press, City break the full court press, and Foden shooting, hits a few knees and a few shins, double ricochet, but Bernardo Silva can't keep it alive. Keeper does well, actually, puts him under pressure.
Oh, that was a mistake by Emerson. Here is Haaland. Oh, he's put it wide. Well, that was on a plate for Haaland, and instinctively he's just hit it first time as he swiveled with his left foot, and you would have put your house on that for Haaland to have put City 2-1 up.
I'm in shock that Haaland is, Tottenham just getting caught there trying to play out, but it's on a plate. He's 7 yards out and he puts it wide, no keeper in the net, nothing at all. I am in shock. Haaland misses the target.
What was he, 10 yards out from goal?
If that.
Although Postecoglou in the build-up to the game was just talking about Haaland, he couldn't make the comparison of other strikers that he's witnessed in his career. But what he did say he was impressed was his focus and his mentality, that when he misses a chance like that, he forgets all about it.
Yeah, you have to, otherwise it's going to stay with you for the next 2 or 3 chances, and then you're doubting yourself. Get back to what you do naturally, which is what he will do. I'm pretty sure the next chance that comes along, he will hit the target.
But by his standards, that was a sitter. City could have been 2-1 up. As it is, it's still 1-1. Walker on the halfway line. Foden, Walker's bombed on ahead of him. Foden waits, wraps it into the feet of Bernardo Silva. He got a push in the back there by Lo Celso as Ruben Diaz turns and goes back to his goalkeeper Edison. We look away towards our left-hand side. Tottenham will press. 2 central defenders are there as well. Rodri helps out. Fullbacks are just dropped back for the time being. Gvardiol on the left, Walker on this near side, the right. He now will get the ball because Tottenham are still pressing. And Walker now up to Haaland, drops inside his own half. He turns, he's got Emerson behind him, but he rolls away from Emerson, and then Emerson brings Haaland down. Referee Simon Hooper says he got the ball. Hill keeps the ball in play. Pace of the game as Bernardo Silva That's retribution. That's Lo Celso getting him back for the push earlier.
Absolutely. Lo Celso, a couple of heavy challenges on Bernardo Silva, one in the middle of the pitch, one in front of the dugouts. Bernardo Silva has logged them and let Lo Celso know, listen, I might be small, but don't be pushing me over and thinking you're not going to get anything back.
Emerson, because of the presence of Bernardo Silva and Haaland, he goes actually to Ben Davies again, drifting out to a left-back role, only because Udogie was so far ahead. As they've lost the ball, Gvardiol now from that side crosses it, Haaland miscontrols it, inside right channel of the penalty area, goes the long way around, finds Rodri. Walker joins the attack, 6 yards inside the Spurs half, now out towards Foden, almost level with the penalty area. 1-1 and what has been an excellent game so far here on BBC Radio 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. Every outfield player is in the Tottenham half. Here is Diaz, just outside the centre circle. Doku's in space, comes in now off that left touchline, enters the penalty box, onto his right foot, touches it. This is Bernardo Silva now. His cross is blocked and behind for a corner. Great pace to the game.
Yeah, brilliant pace to the game, and the way that City find their spaces, they have Foden and Walker really, sort of heels on the touchline, and Doku's doing the same on the far side, makes the gaps big between those Spurs players, more space to play your football.
That's the voice of Dion Dublin on BBC Radio 5 Live. 1-1 here at the Etihad. In swinging corner, headed out by Udogie. Bernardo Silva, Foden takes it away from him. Bernardo Silva wins it back, still going, surrounded by brown shirts. Haaland gets the effort away, blocked and turned behind for a corner kick. They were quick to try and close down City at every opportunity.
Yeah, relentless. Everything that's dropping in that box now, City are making sure that they get onto it and trying to hold on to it and trying to create something from it. Corners have been good as well in that near post area. From
16 minutes played. Corner push short. Alvarez, Doku finds Bernardo Silva, left-footed, low ball, headed out by Emerson. Walker will play it back out towards the left, still midway through the Tottenham half. Flat ball comes in. Udogie there with a header away. It'll be Ruben Diaz who tries to retrieve it. Kulusevski, though, will roll it away from not him, but also Foden didn't keep the ball in play. It's a throw. Let's get an update from the cricket. West Indies, England, Dan Norcross.
291 for 7. A fantastic partnership of 52 from just 31 balls between Sam Curran and Bryden Cars has got England right back on top here. There's still 4 overs to go. They'll be looking to extend that to around 320, 330. 291 for 7, 46 overs have gone.
Doku attacking, far side the left. Doku enters the penalty area. Doku does the little step over, rolls it towards the byline. And then it was Porro, who against his former club, of course, although he actually never played, Pedro Porro, for Manchester City. They paid £5.5 million for him from Girona 4 years ago, and then eventually sold him to Sporting Lisbon for just over £7 million. Pedro Porro, his 30th appearance for Tottenham Hotspur today, as Bernardo Silva almost showed too much to Hill, and then it goes back to Ederson. Ederson comes out of his penalty area to Ruben Diaz. Gvardiol, the Croatian international. Doku again finds space over the halfway line. Basuma's in front of him. Now this is Rodri. Rodri will lift it towards Kyle Walker. First time lay-off to Akanji. Still had time to have a little look over his left shoulder. Back towards Walker. With the exception of Son, everybody's behind the ball for Tottenham. Haaland's made the run. Emerson will go with him. Right side of the penalty area. Onto his left foot. Enters the box. Downward header by Basuma. Comes to Bernardo Silva. And there was Lo Celso, and the back pass from Porro is cleared away by Vicario. So they've done most of this 18 minutes on the back foot, Tottenham, but they have, of course, able to lay one punch on Manchester City, and that's what the home side have got to be wary about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Ange Postecoglou will be happy with that as well. If they can stay concentrated when they haven't got the ball. They are kind of in a 4-5-1 when they haven't got the ball, forcing City to go round them, and City are happy to go round them, but it's even at the moment. Even though City have had most of the ball, it's even.
Here is Hill. Lo Celso gets away with that little nibble of a challenge from Bernardo Silva. The Argentine dribbles it back towards the halfway line. Basuma, who missed the Aston Villa game after accumulating 5 yellow cards, which resulted in that one-match ban. Here he is, takes it despite the presence of Alvarez behind him. Emerson. Once again, Porro so high up on that far side, the right, that if they were to lose the ball, they would be badly exposed to the pace of Doku. on the City left, but they're keeping the ball at the moment. This is probably Tottenham's best spell of the game so far in terms of possession. 1-1, 19 minutes played, a very watchable game. Porro leaves it, Lo Celso, forward ball, Hill, he's got Udogie going on ahead of him. Kulusevski, Son and Johnson are all up there as well. Here is Udogie, and he wins a corner. Good play by Tottenham.
Yeah, it is. Good overload on the left-hand side. Udogie just getting on the underlap, we'll call it, and Walker and Akanji having to deal with the ball going out for a corner, making sure it doesn't reach any dangerous areas. First corner for Spurs, I think.
It is indeed, yeah, and Porro's going to come across to take it. There are just a few boos and jeers for the ex-City player as he places the ball gently down in the quadrant. Manchester City have got every sky blue shirt back in their own penalty area. Porro to Lo Celso, back to Porro once again. It's a teasing ball in, downward header not effectively cleared. Diaz's header only towards Kulusevski, onto his left foot, slides it in low. Brennan Johnson will try and turn, and Tottenham Hotspur will win another corner kick on that far side, the right.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson just helping out Kulusevski. That he wants to go on his left foot, we know that. Showed him down the right hand side there. Bernardo Silva forced him to go on his right foot, got nothing from it.
So Pedro Porro has wandered across to that far side, the right. This should be an outswinging corner. Spurs playing from right to left as we look. 5 live in the World Service, 1-1 at the Etihad. 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes. Tottenham taking the lead, then pegged back. Porro now with the outswinging corner, headed away by Akanji. Kulusevski eventually brings the ball under control as he passes it back to Udogie, right to the centre circle, now with Lo Celso in the centre circle. Basuma. Tottenham being forced back. Udogie to Ben Davis. Davis actually just stands still for the time being. Looks for his options. Plays it short, scooped back by Lo Celso, and Basuma running back into that right back area on that far side now finds Porro. Instant layoff towards Kulusevski, looking for Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson, who's actually yet to win a game since he's started the 4 previous matches for Tottenham. He's drawn 1 and lost 3. It's a tough test to see if that statistic could be changed here today. As Walker to Foden, looks for the run in behind of Haaland over the 2 central defenders, but the ball just kicks on off the wet surface and through to Vicario.
He's like a sprinter, isn't he? Haaland there, he was ready to go. As soon as Foden came off the right hand side, put it on his left foot, he was gone in between the 2 centre halves. The ball didn't reach him on this occasion, but what a good run that was.
Hill goes to ground, referee says no free kick. Manchester City in possession. Rodri, Walker's forward ball. Bernardo Silva on the right touchline, strokes it inside. Alvarez dispossessed by Kulusevski coming back. Kulusevski and Lo Celso exchange the passes. Porro looks for the early release over the top towards Johnson. Guardiola is forced to turn. Johnson with his pace beats Guardiola, enters the penalty area, and almost an own goal. In the end, it was Ruben Diaz sliding back, guides it behind for a corner kick. Full time at Ibrox. Kenny Crawford.
Rangers 2, St Mirren 0. Not the most convincing performance from Rangers, but a straightforward win nonetheless, which reduces Celtic's lead at the top to 8 points. Rangers still have a game in hand. Abdallah Sima with the 2 goals, both assisted by Todd Cantwell. Rangers 2, St Mirren 0.
Yeah, that's after Celtic earlier won at McDermott Park, beating St Johnstone by 3 goals to 1. Latest score, Hibs are 2-0 up at home to Aberdeen. Kulusevski, Edison lets it go. But Tottenham Hotspur are creating problems when they come forward.
Yeah, they are, and it's always in fits and starts with Spurs. Once they get the ball, they break with numbers so quickly. I mean, Brennan Johnson down the right hand side giving Guardiola a good couple of yards and just getting past him, and Diaz having to get across to help his fullback out to block that cross.
That pre-season encounter, Manchester City beat Yokohama by 3 goals to 1 a few years ago, but I think it's fair to say that Ange Postecoglou had the wow factor as far as Pep Guardiola was concerned, because he said that they played with courage, the high line, they were so aggressive, they were dynamic, they had runners off the ball, creating chances. They played really well. They've got some defending to do here. Bernardo Silva out towards Doku. 1-1 it remains. Back to Guardiola. Could easily have been 2-2 though, couldn't it?
Yeah, with the chance we've had. Haaland's had chances and Diaz has had to defend. Walker's had to defend as well. So both teams really creating a lot of chances. It's good.
Doku, midway through the Tottenham half, slows it down. Back to Gvardiol, who turns, finds the Belgian once more. Only now will Porro go across towards him, but he's quite happy. He must have a gap of maybe 8-10 yards now with Porro, so he's not going that tight towards him at this stage. As Doku picks it up, runs forward, inside, lay off by Alvarez, and this should be seen back to Vicario. There was a little bit of a hesitation, and then there was a nudge by Doku on Porro, and that'll be a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur. 25 minutes played, one apiece.
Yeah, I think Porro at the moment is thinking to himself, I'll allow Doku to have the ball out wide, and I don't want to show him any space in behind me, so I'll take a 5 yards off him, let him have it.
Walker with the anticipation, with the interception from the clearance from Vicario. Inside to Bernardo Silva, the return ball to Kyle Walker, sliding, gets there, keeps the ball in play actually. No, the flag's up on the near side. It will be a goal kick. Because of the nature of the 4 games in this busy Sunday afternoon, I'm sure at half-time we'll try and provide you as much reaction as we can from those games at Bournemouth, Chelsea, Liverpool and West Ham United. But if not, then you've always got the 5 Live Football Daily podcast that will have a more detailed reflection, as there was a mistake by Emerson from a simple ball out by Vicario. And incidentally, there is a special 5 Live Football Daily podcast reflecting on yesterday's Euro 2024 draw. And on breakfast tomorrow morning with Rachel and Rick, there will be a special focus on that as well. England, Denmark, Serbia, Slovenia, Germany, Scotland, Switzerland and Hungary, Spain, Italy, Croatia and Albania. 6 till 9, 5 Live breakfast tomorrow morning. This is 5 Live Sport. Doku, Gvardiol gets the ball back. Tottenham have got everybody back behind the ball. Rodri is going to invite Diaz to come forward. Here is Walker. Foden closed down by Udogie. Hill's going to double up on Phil Foden, who turns back towards Walker once again. 27 minutes have been played as the two managers in their big thick coats on this cold afternoon watch on. So much admiration between the two. Foden can't wriggle his way through. Akanji now is on this right hand side, tries to shield the ball away from Lo Celso, snapping at his heels, and Walker passes the ball back, and Manchester City can't find a way through at the moment.
Not yet. Spurs very rigid in that 4-5-1.
Oh, loose ball by Bernardo Silva. Hill seizes upon it, crosses the ball, and then it runs off the legs of Rodri. And Son is apoplectic with his teammate Hill, because I think he wanted the ball in early, and by the time he had passed it, it was snuffed out by Rodri.
Yeah, Hill had too many touches. Son is actually free for a couple of seconds from the edge of the box all the way to the penalty spot. He's put his hands in front of him as if to say, play me now. Hill's taken too many touches, the chance is gone, and he wasn't happy at all. There was a goal scoring opportunity there for Spurs.
Every time that Tottenham have had a break, they've looked a threat. 1-1. Porro, corner kick, near side the left, playing from right to left, in towards the near post, off the head of Emerson. Kulusevski won't get there. Hook clear and hammered away downfield by Bernardo Silva. It's a high bounce which allows Rodri to play it back. Gvardiol stabs it forward. Bernardo Silva, early release. Alvarez sliding across was Ben Davies. Up towards Alvarez once again, midway through the Tottenham half, plays it back. Gvardiol to Rodri. Haaland is occupying the Tottenham defence at the moment, as Porro is actually filling in as a central defender, and Ben Davies at the time being is playing as a right back. That's how flexible Tottenham Hotspur are having to be as they adapt. Let's get an update from the cricket. Dan.
307 for 8, another wicket gone down. It's Sam Curran, but he'd done his part. 38 from 24, run out in a mix-up. He didn't heed the call of Bryden Cast, was run out at the non-striker's end. 307 for 8, 11 balls left. Cars is still there on 29. Rayan Ahmed's joined him on 1.
That's Dan Norcross watching that one-day international between the West Indies and England. This is the Premier League. It's live on 5 Live in the World Service. It's still 1-1 as Alvarez. Forward ball, Doku onto it, left corner of the penalty area, enters the box onto his right foot, shoots, hits the crossbar, down into the ground, and it's cleared away by Brennan Johnson, and Manchester City so close to going 2-1 up.
What a break, what a break. Haaland saying get the ball wide to Doku. Doku one-on-one, that's where he wants it. He does a little shimmy, looks like he's going to go to the left, and he curls it in the top corner, hits the crossbar and then the post, and then bounces back where it came from. Really good effort, really good effort.
Manchester City should have been ahead. You think of the Haaland sitter that he missed, and then Doku going close again. And the game is living up to every expectation so far, with two sides just playing open football. Here is Bernardo Silva, back to Walker. Bernardo Silva on the halfway line, slows it back down once again, and then Walker with a back pass to Ederson. The 30 minutes have absolutely whistled by.
30 minutes already?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this, the football and defensive play as well.
Emerson sees it back to his goalkeeper Vicario. Basuma is available. He was under pressure though, and it was a pass that was always going away from Emerson, and it goes straight out for a City throw that's taken quickly. Bernardo Silva gets it back from Foden on the City right. Alvarez lays it off. Rodri, Doku again in a lot of space on that far side. Now Porro will go to approach him, but Doku again rolls it into the penalty area, plays it back. Vardiol's first time cross towards the far post, headed away by Udogie. Retrieved by Bernardo Silva. Walker's going to go on the overlap. Bernardo Silva crosses, cleared though by Emerson on the volley. Alvarez's downward header drops in field. Vardiol finds Haaland to Doku, edge of the penalty box, slides it forward. Alvarez turns. Here is Phil Foden. Manchester City have taken the lead. Wonderful goal. Didn't necessarily walk it in, but it wasn't that far away. One touch, cut through the Tottenham defence, and there was Phil Foden. That was a wonderful goal, and City have come from behind and they lead Tottenham Hotspur 2-1.
Wow, training ground goal, absolutely fantastic. No panic whatsoever. Get the ball over to Doku, keep it, pass it into your teammate, take one touch, take two touches, don't force it, don't do anything fancy. Lovely run from Phil Foden, really was. In fact, it was Bernardo Silva who made the run, played it into Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva takes one touch, lays it into Phil Foden, he's 6 yards out. He has time to take a touch. It's actually Alvarez with his back to goal, and Phil Foden just slides it in the corner. That is just what we would call a training ground goal. They did actually walk it in the back of the net. They made it look easy.
From a Tottenham Hotspur point of view, are you thinking not once but twice, who didn't track the run of Alvarez, who didn't track the run of Foden?
Yeah, giving the ball away again. If you want to play out from the back, you've got to have the personnel that can do it. If you're giving the ball away when you're trying to play out, you're putting yourself under pressure.
Case of deja vu, as City looking for another goal. It was a low cross fired in by Bernardo Silva, and it required Ben Davies sliding inside the 6 yard area to put it over his own crossbar to prevent it from reaching Haaland. But they scored first in their last three. They did so again today, and yet they're behind Tottenham.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola has seen something. Whenever there's a dead ball, play quick, play quick. That's what Spurs are doing.
Manchester City, corner kick, far side to left, in it goes to the near post. Headed out by Basuma, played all the way back by Doku to Ederson. Ederson 10 yards short of the centre circle to Walker. Bernardo Silva. But Spurs won't change their philosophy, they won't change their style of play. Quite refreshing really from Ange Postecoglou when he was asked about that, saying if we want to be a top club, or he basically said the top clubs have an identity and they stick to their plans come what may. So if you've got a plan, you invest in it, you stick to it, you believe in it, even during the tough times. And at the moment, these may be tough times for Tottenham Hotspur, but I repeat what I said to Steve in the build-up. The Tottenham fans will take this philosophy every day of the week.
Yeah, they will. It's positive. It's very positive. The players are trying to play the game in the right way. They've got a manager who's very positive as well. Everything's in place. It really is. They've got good players.
And also, you won't end up losing every week, as a yellow card is shown.
It's Rodri, isn't it?
Well, that's telling, because that means that Rodri will miss the trip to Aston Villa in midweek. That's his 5th yellow card. So Rodri with a foul on Porro and that is a huge blow for Manchester City. Remember when he was sent off against Nottingham Forest? He missed those 3 games. They really do miss Rodri, but he will be missing for that trip to Aston Villa on Wednesday night.
Yeah, you can see as well, we've got a couple of monitors here. We've got a close-up of Rodri. He's actually thinking to himself, and he knows what's just happened. It was an unnecessarily yellow card.
First yellow card of the game. Alvarez up against Davis. Foden going on ahead of him. Alvarez will shoot, hits the post. Right-footed effort, always curling away from goal, but it's still nevertheless hit the base of the left-hand post as we watch Manchester City attack from left to right.
So quick. 2 passes, shot on goal. That's the left post, the right post, and the crossbar that's been hit at the moment from City. So dynamic when they have the ball in the final third.
2-1, but they could easily have had 4, at least.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, like we've said, you know, they'll keep, you know, missing chances, or they have missed chances, but they won't keep doing it. So don't keep giving them the chances to do so. They are ruthless when they need to be. When they've missed a couple of chances as well, they start to get angry with themselves. The manager gets angry as well, so sharpen up. Spurs at the back.
Yep. Basuma under pressure, been dispossessed. Alvarez to the penalty area. Alvarez stumbles. Haaland off his left foot, he skied it. Couldn't keep it down. He's had 2 efforts with his left foot now. He's put 1 wide and 1 over the top. 2-1 to Manchester City, 9 minutes to half-time.
Yeah, that's not good for Spurs. That means he's going to keep getting chances. Again, Basuma getting caught with the ball, back to play, not knowing what's around him. I think it's Alvarez, Foden, Rodri squeezing him, forcing him to make mistakes. And then they had a 4-on-2, City.
Emerson, his forward ball finds Son, just pops up and hits his hand. Referee, though, has played the advantage. Bernardo Silva to Akanji, prods it into the path of Doku. 5 live in the World Service. We've been playing for 36 minutes of a very entertaining afternoon game of football here, where Manchester City are leading by 2-1 as they look to move within a point of the leaders Arsenal. Liverpool currently second, 2 points adrift of Arsenal after that dramatic victory at Anfield, beating Fulham 4-3. Doku, left-hand side, back to Gvardiol, turns, back to Doku once more. Still the rain falls. Doku stands still. 2 Tottenham players in front of him. Johnson has helped out Porro to double up as Gvardiol will pass the ball back. Son now races towards Akanji, and the ball's in the centre circle, and it's with Diaz to this near side the right for Walker, to Foden, clipped by Udogie. Referee Simon Hooper is calling Udogie towards him, and he's actually pointing to other areas of the field. So that must be for persistent defending, because I actually thought on that occasion there was a genuine attempt to play the ball.
Yeah, he just dangled his leg. He wasn't going to get there. Kyle Walker to Foden in front of the dugouts as well. I think he actually may have pulled out of the challenge, actually. Yeah, he does catch him, whether it's a yellow card or not. Probably not, but persistently catching his player or his opponent late. It's the 3rd time, the referee said.
Edison clears long. Clears actually out of play for a throw on that far side, the Tottenham right. As we've got just over 6 minutes to go to half-time here on BBC Radio 5 Live, where the champions lead by 2-1. Emerson back to Vicario, all in yellow, waits, finds Lo Celso, opens it up to Ben Davis. Again, the centre-back has switched out to this near side, the left. Brian Hill got a little push there by Walker. He now makes the run off Walker. Son's also tried to exploit that gap left by Walker, tried to touch it into the path of Hill. Diaz again was covering, and Rodri will help out, and Manchester City are back in control deep inside their own half. But Foden's actually given it away. Son, early ball. Johnson with his back to goal, in towards Porro, scuffed effort, partially cleared by Manchester City and eventually chipped away by Diaz. To Doku, lets it settle in front of him, midway through his own half, over the halfway line. Haaland wants it early. Tottenham are quick to get 6 shirts back behind the ball as Doku to Rodri and now towards Bernardo Silva. Slows it down to a walking pace. End of the innings then in the cricket, Dan Norcross.
325 all out off the very last ball. Gus Atkinson, the last man to go for 4, leaving Carse on 31 not out. 325, it's a lot on this pitch. It's going to be a tough ask for the West Indies.
Thanks, Dan. Still 2-1 to Manchester City. Hill turns. Walker I thought was more worried about Hill than the ball there, but Hill went to ground. The referee didn't see anything untoward with that, and Manchester City have it with Bernardo Silva back towards Akanji. Walker finds Akanji once again. Doku has got space every time and time again. In fact, that time there was emotion from Postecoglou. He just slapped his hands at the side of his hips in frustration. Doku. Back then to Gvardiol, clips over the cross, it's a long one. Foden hooks it back over his head to the edge of the penalty area. Johnson will head it away up to Kulusevski. The referee, I think, tried to let the game flow and then decided that there was no advantage, and it will be a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I think Spurs trying to play out from the back. It's okay when it happens, but they don't do it quick enough. When you take too many touches and you're trying to play out from the back, the team you're playing against gets set. The pass that you did have on isn't on anymore, and then you start to panic. Your options are shortened. Whereas City move it very, very quickly when they try and play out from the back.
You'll have to forgive me, I didn't bring you confirmation of that Hibs full-time score at Easter Road in the Scottish Premiership. Hibs did beat Aberdeen 2-0. Rangers 2, St Mirren 0, so 8 points behind Celtic with a game in hand after Celtic's victory in Perth earlier by 3-1. Norwich City beat Bristol City 2-1 in the Championship. Eastleigh knocked out Reading of the FA Cup. Aldershot and Stockport County will have a replay after a 2-2 draw. Chesterfield claim the scalp of Leyton Orient, and Wrexham are leading Yeovil in the latest game in the FA Cup second round. And we'll have all that reaction to the 4 earlier games in the Premier League very, very soon, in about 4 minutes' time, with Steve, once we've reached the break here at the Etihad, where Manchester City are still leading by 2-1 as Walker stoops, comes under pressure from Hill, plays the ball a little further back than maybe Diaz would have liked. His clearance is stopped by Udogie. Rodri then hoists it high. Doku again in acres of space left hand side. That's a recurring theme. Doku runs forward, Porro back pedals, edge of the area, looks to try and slide it in towards Foden, comes out towards Rodri. Challenged by Lo Celso. Lo Celso brings the ball away, nicks it to Son. Son looks for the early release, hooks it to Kulusevski. Kulusevski now looks towards Hill. Nobody beats Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker was gliding past in that foot race with Hill. Only one outcome, and Manchester City deal with a Tottenham threat. Yeah,
the problem with that is Hill had about 2 or 3 yards on Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker just puts the afterburners on, again gets himself there, and he squashes another chance for Spurs down this left hand side. He's got everything, Kyle Walker, absolutely everything.
Bernardo Silva just seems to get better and better every time you see him, as Foden with a crossfield pass that Doku once again brings very quickly under control. Left hand side, enters the box down towards the byline, looks for the early cross, cut out by Basuma. And is there a foul there on Johnson? Yes, there will be. Free kick to Tottenham Hotspur. 2 minutes to go to half time.
Yeah, I think City, they kind of earn the right to play the way they do and to get the respect they do, because they do so much without the ball as well as when they have it. They're all on the same page, they know what they're doing, they're so organised, and that's why they get so much respect, and that's why they get so many results go their way.
36 live Premier League commentaries on BBC Radio 5 Live, Sports Extra or online during the month of December. This is the 7th that we've brought you just this weekend alone, and every Premier League midweek game, whether it be on Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, will be covered live. Ooh, there was just a little clip on the back of the head by Lo Celso that Akanji felt there. It's twice he's just had little bites, isn't it?
Yeah, Lo Celso's on a bit of a tightrope. I think the referee's seen everything that he's tried to do as well, Lo Celso. Little sort of late challenges on Bernardo Silva, one on Akanji. So yes, he's going to have to be careful because the referee's seen everything.
Well, they've had 3 red cards this season. It is an area that Postecoglou says that they've maybe got to try and improve on their discipline during the course of the season. Still trailing despite taking the lead. Here is Akanji right of the centre circle. Rodri. Doku again could be in here. Every time he's on, Doku shoots, blocked. And again, Postecoglou at that time had his arms open wide. He's seeing it, but the players out there aren't seeing the dangers that everybody else is so visible to witness.
Yeah, and Ange Postecoglou is possibly pulling his hair out because they probably worked on it in training. You know, don't let Doku be one-on-one, try and cut that ball out to Doku, but they haven't had no answer to it at all. City have seen it. They've seen that Doku's out there on the left-hand side every single time. Crossfield ball, he's one-on-one.
Kulusevski tries to turn, can't get away from Rodri. Gvardiol now has the ball at his feet. Back to Rodri. So despite the 2-1 lead, that's the other significant aspect to this first half, that Rodri will be suspended for the trip to Villa Park in midweek. A game, incidentally, you'll be able to listen to live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Doku, left-hand side, runs forward, away from two men, and then Lo Celso goes to ground, gets a free kick, takes it quickly. Porro looks for the ball over the top. Son was a little flat-footed. Till he's never flat-footed is Kyle Walker with his pace. And he must have had a good 6 yards, although his back pass to Edison forced the City keeper to prod it away anywhere to safety, and in the end Walker has cleared it long, and we're into 3 minutes of added on time. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Manchester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
Yeah, even though Edison was under a bit of pressure there, he didn't seem to panic, just poked it through to one of his teammates. They get away with it on this occasion.
A half where we could have had more goals. City have hit the post, they've hit the crossbar. Ruben Dias could have given Tottenham a goal with an own goal as he was sliding back to curve across from the right hand side. It's certainly been an entertaining watch, that's for sure. Back to Edison. Walker, midway through his own half, finds Foden, Udogie tight behind him, forcing Foden back. Walker easily beats Hill. Too much strength really for the diminutive Spaniard. And now it's with Diaz to bring the ball forward out of his central defensive area for Manchester City. And Gvardiol just pushes it ahead of him to Doku. Keeps the ball in play on that left touchline. Doku, faced by Porro. Johnson was trying to double up as well. City have advanced. They're midway through the Manchester City half. Very quiet atmosphere inside the Etihad at the moment. The Tottenham supporters banked up in those 3 tiers behind the goal. In these wet conditions, away towards our right hand side, as Akanji will pass the ball back to Edison. So they've dominated in terms of possession of Manchester City, but they've still got to be wary of the threat that Tottenham will pose on the break, as Akanji out towards Doku. But he has been the go-to man throughout this first half. Gvardiol now on the overlap. His cross blocked. It might reach Alvarez. It rides up his chest as he takes it into the box, and then he turns left corner back towards Doku. Kulusevski though dispossesses him despite the cry from the crowd of man on. And Tottenham Hotspur try and play out from the back as the ball is hit long by Johnson. What do you think that Ange Postecoglou will make of the Tottenham performance in this first half?
You know what, I think he was frustrated because he would have worked on things that haven't worked out today, and one of those is getting Doku on the ball, stop him being one-on-one, and haven't done it today. They've tried to play out from the back, they haven't done that either, so lots to think about, but they have weathered the storm at the moment. It could have been 3, could have been 4 for City, but they've kept it at just that 1 goal deficit at the moment. It's good at the moment for Spurs, they're still in the game.
Well, I'm sure he'll address those concerns in the half-time interval, for which we're inside 60 seconds away of this first half, and Manchester City with no real great purpose at this stage. They're just keeping the ball in the central area of the field. Gvardiol, Croatian international, and indeed there is the half-time whistle. Manchester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. First real attack came from Tottenham on the counter-attack, and it was from Vicario's punch-out, Hill and Kulusevski integral for Son to give Tottenham the lead. Lasted only 3 minutes though, as a Son own goal from an Alvarez free kick from the right came off the outstretched right thigh of the South Korean. Haaland's missed a sitter, Doku's hit the crossbar, and then Foden with an excellent goal, putting Manchester City in front just past the half hour, and Alvarez has since hit the post too. Dion Dublin.
Listen, this game's still in the balance for me. When Spurs break, they broke at pace. They get a lot of mushroom shirts forward. They work hard, but City, you just cannot turn your back on them. Doku's had so many chances at one-on-one. He'll recharge himself. He'll get the ball in the second half. and he'll want to get himself a goal as well. So I think it's still in the balance, and Spurs have got a great chance of getting something.
It's been a good game. Half-time at the Etihad. Manchester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
Yeah, Dion, it's 2-1, but Haaland missed a sitter that you would never expect him to miss. Doku hit the post and bar with one shot. Alvarez hit the post as well. You know, Manchester City would only have needed to be a little bit less unlucky, and this could be 5. So as popular as Postecoglou is, and as popular as his style of football is, it doesn't look like it's leading them to anything at the moment. My question for you, though, is when you look at the goals they've conceded and the chances they've conceded, is that issues based on the team he's picked rather than issues on the way they play?
No, I don't think it's either. I think it's who they're playing against. That's what I think it is. I think they're just playing against the best in the business. They will create lots and lots of chances, but the guys that are trying to take those chances, Steve, at the moment just haven't got their shooting boots on. But they can't allow City to have these chances. I mean, an open goal for Haaland, 8-9 yards out. As you mentioned, Doku's shot as well. Doku being one-on-one, he's absolutely loving it. I think Ange will have a go at his players. I think he'll be vocal. He won't be happy with the way they're trying to play out from the back. They're too slow. But what Spurs have got, Steve, is that little bit of pace.
Yep.
When they go over the top, they've got a little bit of pace. They've got every chance of getting themselves another goal.
Thank you very much, Dion and Ian. Second half commentary then to come from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Remember, there's live FA Cup football on right now. You can listen to this one on 5 Sports Extra. It's Wrexham of League 2 against Yeovil Town. Right now happening, and it's being watched by Sani Rudravajala.
Yes, and it's 75 minutes on the clock. Wrexham 2, Yeovil 0. The game getting a bit stretched, but Wrexham at the moment looking like they'll be having a very tasty derby day in the third round against Shrewsbury Town. He took the lead in the first half, and it was Palmer with the effort after a header was saved initially, and then Andy Cannon from distance in injury time got them a second, just as Wrexham attack at the moment, and it looks like they are going to be into that third round. Yeovil have it all to do. Wrexham 2, Yeovil 0, 76 minutes gone.
Sani, thank you very much. Couldn't read my own handwriting there on Yeovil Town, who are top of National League South, but I got there eventually. Cricket going on right now as well. Remember, England set in their innings 325, which, as Dan Norcross was telling us, is a big ask for West Indies. We'll keep you up to date with that when they're back underway. We'll have all the reaction that we can fit in to the 2 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League. 6:06 on the way, of course. When we're done at the Etihad, we'll tell you when the lines are open. All of that to come after the news on 5 Live with Richard Foster.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The former Minister and MEP Glenys Kinnock has died at the age of 79. She was married to the former Labour leader Neil Kinnock for 56 years. Her family described her as a proud democratic socialist who spent her life campaigning for justice. Last year, Lord Kinnock spoke about the impact that her Alzheimer's diagnosis had had on their relationship.
She has been, well, the term used is a rock, but she's been a continent of rocks. The great thing about Glenys, she's retained her sense of merriment. And so she's outward looking, she's good company, she gets frustrated, obviously, sometimes terribly so.
Israeli attacks on southern Gaza have intensified during a third day of renewed fighting. The military says it's targeting Hamas command centres there, weapons storage and naval forces after a ceasefire fell apart on Friday. Weather warnings for snow and ice have been issued in places across the UK after heavy snowfall caused major disruption in Cumbria. Firefighters have been rescuing people from their cars. Some people had to spend the night in community centres and schools. 4 people, including 2 children, have been killed and 3 others injured in a stabbing in New York. Police were called to Far Rockaway in the neighbourhood of Queens in the early hours of this morning and found the victims in a home that had been set on fire. A male suspect subsequently stabbed 2 police officers before being shot. And anti-terror police in France are investigating the fatal stabbing of a German tourist near the Eiffel Tower last night. A British man in his 60s was one of 2 people injured. A French man has been arrested.
Christmas on BBC Sounds.
With festive film favourites.
Just see those sleigh bells jingle and ring, tingle, tingling too.
Seasonal party songs with kitchen disco.
Are you ready to sing a little jingle bells?
Yeah.
And sing along to some classic carols.
Search Christmas music. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Manchester City 2, Tottenham 1, half-time at the Etihad, second half commentary on the way. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Ding Junhui are tied at 4-4 after a hard-fought opening session at the UK Snooker Championship final. Plays back underway at 7 o'clock. You'll be able to watch that on BBC 2. Let's go back to that ODI between the West Indies and England. Dan Norcross.
Yep, 325 England posted. They'll be really pleased with that. It's a nasty, grabby pitch. It's got more paces in some respects. We've seen a lot of catches dropped as well. The West Indies were very untidy in the field. 3 times they spawned chances, Zach Crawley being the recipient on a couple. But England, the feature of their batting was basically everybody got in, with the exception of Joss Buttler with 3 and Gus Atkinson, who was the last to go, the number 11 for 4. Everyone else made double figures. Harry Brooks, 71 off 72, anchored the innings, but it's a really fine start. 77 off 50 balls between Salt and Jacks for the first wicket, then 71 between Crawley and Brook for the fourth. But the partnership that's probably given England the edge is the Curran-Carrs partnership for the 8th wicket. 66 they put on in 40 balls. Carrs ended 31 not out, Curran 38 not out. Couple of wickets for Moti, 2 for 49. He took the left arm spinner. That might be the way England go. They've got 3 spinners in their attack, but actually you'd think their seam is going to be a handful on this pitch as well. 325 all out on 50 overs, England.
Back to the football already today. An absolutely thrilling game at Anfield finished Liverpool 4, Fulham 3. Liverpool were behind with 3 minutes of normal time left before goals from Wataru Endo and Trent Alexander-Arnold sent Anfield wild. Here's Jurgen Klopp on the persistence of his players.
Bit of a stretch, obviously, emotionally. Second half, it's 2-2. We could have scored, maybe should have scored before, a bit unlucky with Darwin on the crossbar. Really well played. But then you realize, okay, it's getting a bit stiff, so difficult. If something goes in the right direction, you have to keep doing it. And look, we have out there a bunch of really talented football players. So football is joy when you win. It's not about enjoying yourself and about doing a little bit like here and there. That's not. It was not that bad, but it was enough for this strong Fulham side to open it up, and that's what we have to work on. But yes, in the moment of being 3-2 down and playing the way we play, scoring the goal we score, and going for the 4-3, that's how mentality starts growing. I wish I could say that when they scored a 3-2 that I was sure that we will turn around. I was not. But I know it's possible. And Anfield made it happen again.
That's Jurgen Klopp. Marco Silva, meanwhile, proud in defeat.
It's tough because when you come back and you know that you played well, we match the opposition. We deserve more than what we take. Is always you understand how is the dressing right now. I told them that I'm proud of them, and we have to change quick the mindset for the next one that is coming in 3 days' time, and it has to be in this way. December month is going to be in this way. You don't have time to keep crying about what's happened, just to analyse quick with them and to go for the next.
Also a thriller at Stamford Bridge. 10-man Chelsea held on to beat Brighton 3-2. There was a massive handball shout against Levi Colwill close to full time. The replay showed that it actually hit him in the face. It was overruled by the referee, so obviously that was the right decision, but there were still ugly scenes between both sets of players at full time. Here's John Southall with the Chelsea manager Maurizio Pochettino.
What happened on the final whistle? Because then it all came a bit unseemly, didn't it?
That is a problem when this type of thing happen, and we are emotional, and it's emotional thing. That of course, and then it's too much. Things happen, and it's confusion. The ego is there, and yes, but we need to be more calm. But that is the football that we are living, and sometimes to have control is not easy.
No, and Conor Gallagher got sent off. What was your decision on that one?
No, for me it wasn't. The second wasn't foul, and I think it wasn't the second yellow card. And we need to accept that sometimes referee can make a mistake. But I think yes, it was tough to play with one less because of the situation that we are, and of course again a very good team like is Brighton.
How important was it to get over the line today, especially after Newcastle last weekend?
No, it was really important, and then because to play here for the player is really tough, because in the last year or the last season it's difficult to have a win. We need to build our confidence in front of our fans, and I think that is going to be important, because like I told during the halftime, that it's not a bad situation. It's 2-1 for us. great challenge and great opportunity for us to show that we are a real team, and I think I am happy for that.
Maurizio Pochettino. Elsewhere, Ollie Watkins scored in the 90th minute as Aston Villa came from behind to draw 2-2 with Bournemouth. Despite that, Bournemouth, who were really on the up, are now 6 points above the bottom three at the London Stadium. It finished West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 1. Here's David Moyes.
A bit disappointed we didn't take more. Look, we had a game in midweek and it has some effects on it. Looked at it a wee bit in the first half. Really tight Premier League game. We get a goal in front and we give away a horrendous goal really, which equals it up, and sometimes in these games you've got to just see it out, and if you're not quite on it, try and stick at it, be resilient and don't concede. But we did. But I have to say, I thought we made 2 or 3 chances at the end, which on another day maybe we would have scored.
4 FA Cup round 2 ties this afternoon. Wrexham against Yeovils ongoing. Wrexham currently leading by 2-0. Early in National League, Eastleigh scored a late winner as they beat League One Reading by 2-1. Here's manager Richard Hill.
This game's massive to this football club. It's massive to my chairman. It's massive for 3,500 Eastleigh fans that have come today. It's massive, and not myself, but as the manager, I've had to carry that this week. And I've had to be aware that we just couldn't have a situation where we got beat 3-4-0 and we just roll over and everybody goes, well, there it is. We had to put a performance in, and it's been important. The lads have been great. The lads have been absolutely fantastic. We worked on a couple of things. I did feel that if we got the ball into the box from crosses that we'd have a chance. Then they bring Harley Dean on to stop that, but it's massive. It's massive to this football club like that. And I don't particularly get emotional, but today's been big for this football club.
Also an emotional day for Chesterfield, the leaders of the National League. They're through as well after a 1-0 victory over Leyton Orient, and it finished Aldershot 2, Stockport 2, so they face a replay. Standout ties from the FA Cup third round draw: Arsenal versus Liverpool, Sunderland Newcastle, Wigan Manchester United, and Middlesbrough at home to Aston Villa. 21 goals in the Premier League so far today in 4.5 matches. 6:06 is on the way after we're done at the Etihad. Afternoon, Robbie Savage.
Afternoon, Steve.
21.
Good draw for Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it's a great draw. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't in the script for me to read out there amongst the highlights, but I decided it deserved to be there.
What a game this is, Steve, as well. I'm sure there's going to be more goals in the second half. It's end-to-end stuff, isn't it? Brilliant game.
Where are you on this, Robbie, on the approach of Tottenham Hotspur? Because it's great to watch, and I know Spurs fans love it, but I can't help but feel it might not be the best route to getting a result.
Well, you've got to take into consideration Spurs' injuries. They've got 2 full-backs playing the centre-half. They're still trying to be brave. It was a great goal on the counter-attack from Son. It looks like it's going to be 4 defeats in 4. We had a call on 6-06 last night. Talking about Arsenal, how they're not getting the recognition, but Spurs, everybody loving the way they're playing, but there could be 4 defeats in a row. Yes, they've got injuries, listen, I know Chris is a huge fan of Spurs and Big Ange. But again, if you get beat again, trying to play the same way, it's hard to have a go at Spurs because they're enjoyable to watch. But surely they've got to get results, but they have got injury problems. At Man City, the second goal, Steve, what a goal that is! Pep Guardiola, his team. It's a 3-horse race, isn't it? It's City, Liverpool, what a win for them, what a comeback, 3-2 down, 80th minute, win the game, Trent getting 2. It's Arsenal, Liverpool and City for the title. City's title, it's a 3-horse race. I don't think Spurs, Villa, nobody else is in that race.
Yeah. Anything else on the agenda you want to tell us about?
Well, Man United last night, wow, the body language of some players, wow. Listen, we were on air when the game was taking place and we'd come off at half-time, didn't we? But I've got to say, Newcastle were magnificent. Manchester United, the body language of some of the players, it's quite remarkable to think that one of the biggest football clubs in the world, their form was good going into it, obviously in the Premier League, but, Newcastle, can you say about a team wanted it more on the eye? It was unbelievable to see. So 08085 909 693, Steve.
Nice one, Robbie. Thank you very much.
Mate.
Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton with you for 6:06 once we're done at the Etihad. And the lines are open. So as Robbie was saying, 08085 909 693. You can call now, book that call in to speak to Robbie and Chris. But anything could happen in the next 45 minutes. Let's take you back to the Etihad. We're ready for second half commentary with Dion Dublin and Ian Dennis.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, the Tottenham players are already out. Manchester City are just slowly but surely running out from the tunnel. and Tottenham are going to be making a change at the start of the second half, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is the player who's going to be coming on, and the player who has gone off is Bryan Hill. So Højbjerg comes on. So the Tottenham side will be Vicario in goal, a back four of Porro, Emerson, Davies and Udogie, Lo Celso, Basuma and Højbjerg now in the midfield, with Kulusevski, Johnson and Son, who gave Tottenham a 6th-minute lead. But Manchester City, defending the end away towards our right-hand side, are the ones who are in front, as the game is back underway after the whistle from referee Simon Hooper. And the champions line up as follows, with Ederson in goal, a back four of Walker, the captain, his 250th start for Manchester City, and they've given the ball away of Manchester City Tottenham straight away, and Vicario makes a flying save from Bernardo Silva outside of the left boot, and Vicario at full stretch to his left makes sure that lead is only one goal.
What are Spurs doing? What are they trying to do? Why is the goalkeeper trying to play an outside of his boot pass to his teammate when you've got 4 or 5 sky blue players in front of you? Just get the ball up the pitch and regroup. Ridiculous pass.
That could have been such a costly start to the second half. I'll give you the rest of the City side after this corner kick. But a Son own goal and Foden have put City in front. It's a high one from the right, and the downward header by Rodri is actually saved by Vicario, sliding across to his right-hand side. So Ederson in goal, Walker, Diaz, Akanji and Gvardiol is the defence, Silva, Rodri and Phil Foden, Alvarez, Haaland and Doku. And we'll just have to wait and see as to how that alteration for Tottenham Hotspur affects things for Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Højbjerg is going to come in and just try and shore things up in the middle of the park, and the physical element of the game he's going to try and knit together. But I don't know what it is with Spurs. They've got some really good players, but they try to play in the wrong areas at the wrong time. That's the key thing, at the wrong time.
It was always going to be a test, it was always going to be a challenge, and it's proving exactly that for Tottenham Hotspur, who actually arrived here today with the best away record in the Premier League, 14 points from a possible 21. But again, they're coming under pressure as Rodri is adjudged to have fouled Lo Celso, and that will be a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur. So 2 minutes into the second half, a lot of the supporters around us are still getting back to their seats as Tottenham try and play their way out. And the ball from Porro inside to Lo Celso. Højbjerg again. The pass didn't seem on there. They've lost the ball, and Foden closed down by Emerson. But also, almost, architects of their own downfall again.
Yeah, because, like I've said, they're trying to play the ball out from the back. They're trying to do it, and it's too slow. And by the time you try and find your teammate, that pass is already gone. And City, as we well know, will squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and they'll coming from the midfield, and they'll squeeze together. There's no gaps. Get it wrong, and City are in your final third.
Felt a little bit of sympathy there for Simon Hooper. It was Haaland who was scythed down, and he tried to let the game flow. He wanted Manchester City to keep on playing, but the City players seemed reluctant, and in the end he was forced to give a free kick to the home team, 10 yards forward of the centre circle, as in these wet conditions, still with the persistent light drizzle now. They're playing from right to left as we look. So quite a high line from Tottenham Hotspur in the change strip, the dark beige, or the mushroom brown if you prefer Dion's description, as Bernardo Silva leaves it for Alvarez, chips it over the top, comes off the side of the head of Diaz. Son is dispossessed by Akanji. Bernardo Silva takes over, runs out to this near side, tries to float it into the direction of Haaland, and it's gathered in by Vicario, all in yellow, who throws it out to Emerson. Here is Højbjerg, the substitute. Son had made a great little run off Akanji and in between the right back Kyle Walker, but they weren't able to get the ball to him. Now they look for the run of the South Korean, who touches it to Kulusevski. Kulusevski on the right hand side, waits, looks for Porro's support, just outside the penalty area on the right. Højbjerg with his experience, Kulusevski inside, Lo Celso able to turn, This is something that we didn't really see a great deal of Tottenham doing it in the first half, of keeping the ball as they lose it on the halfway line. And it's up with Haaland, who's quickly surrounded by 3 Tottenham players. Hotspur slides into the challenge. And Simon Hooper's given a free kick. Hotspur says, I got the ball right.
I mean, it's great playing football, and I've said I've had a go at Spurs for playing out from the back, which is fine, but then in the final third, they're actually on the right-hand side, down their right, Spurs have got a chance to cross it, Kulusevski, and then they bring it back, and then they're in the middle third, and then they're in the final third again, and they lose it. It's just, they're making wrong decisions, Spurs, at the moment.
This is strange. We're only 5 minutes into the second half, but Jack Grealish is going to be coming on for Manchester City. There's been a goal at Wrexham. Sonny.
Yeah, really cool finish from Sam Dolby. On as a sub, played through on goal. He's sealed it. We're into injury time here, and it's Wrexham 3, Yeovil 0.
Manchester City then on 5 Live in the World Service, leading by 2-1. Bernardo Silva slides this free kick out towards Doku, left-hand side, left corner of the area, back to Alvarez. Alvarez to Walker, inverted, forward of the centre circle, out towards Foden. Diaz has stayed forward. Foden, though, can't deliver that cross just as yet, as Rodri plays a ball under pressure to Bernardo Silva, back out to Foden and Mark, right-hand side of the area. Foden enters the box, comes off the head of Basuma, and it's eventually picked up by Vicario, but because there was a Tottenham player down and it was a head injury, and it was Emerson, referee Simon Hooper had no choice but to blow his whistle, which prevented Vicario from trying to get it away early downfield.
Yeah, it's a great ball as well, but the referee's seen the head injury. I think it was Royale that was down, holding his head, so the referee did the right thing. Stop the play.
So you're thinking that Guardiola has maybe seen something here, or do you think that Doku doesn't seem to be walking too freely, does it? I think he's picked up a bit of a knock.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a niggle. He's gone out there, he's had the ball a couple of times. He hasn't really wanted to take his man on. He's just Pep Guardiola's got his arm around him in the technical area, walking back towards the bench, and he keeps bending his leg and pointing to the outside of his right knee. And now he's pointing to the physios as if to say, can you come in with me, let's get this sorted.
Yeah.
So a little niggle, nothing too much, hopefully.
So a concern for the midweek trip to Aston Villa on Wednesday night, bearing in mind that they've already lost Rodri for that game after his yellow card hit in the first half, means that he'll be suspended, and Doku coming off after a little bit of a niggle. So Grealish is on to replace him. Manchester City still lead by 2-1. No foul, says referee Simon Hooper, as Foden took a tumble. Ball inside to Basuma, turns away from Foden, back on his feet, plays it back to Emerson. He's now closed down by Alvarez to Vicario, a little hesitant, all in yellow in that penalty area. That was a risky ball back by Basuma, and then eventually Hotspur towards Emerson. They just looked like they were dicing there a little bit.
Yeah,
Tottenham.
You know what it looks like? It looks like they've been told to play out, and they're not going to do anything else apart from play out. No matter how the picture looks, we have to play out. Well, you don't. You can try it. If it's not on, then miss the press out. It's just common sense. It's good game management.
Wrexham have won that cup tie against Yeovil 3-0. That's how it's finished. So they'll be away to Shrewsbury in round 3. Brennan Johnson coming forward, and he shoots right-footed on the run, edge of the area, straight at Ederson. There was certainly some tasty draws in the FA Cup third round when it was made earlier. You can check out all the details on the BBC Sport website. 6:06 is coming up as well after this game with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. 08085909693. Match the Day 2 tonight at 10:30 on BBC One. I was thinking it would take a lot to dislodge Liverpool 4, Fulham 3 from top billing. And when we had the flurry of early goals here, I thought, we might be able to match the 7 at Anfield.
Still time.
There is still time. Manchester City looking to close the gap on leaders Arsenal. That's exactly what Liverpool have done earlier today. Gvardiol to Grealish. Grealish has got space to run into. Porro closes him down, floats it over, just over the head of Haaland. He was stretching for it, and eventually, last touch came off Udogie. The persistence of Alvarez paying off. And Manchester City here are going to take a quick corner, and Tottenham have been caught napping there. Right hand side, in it comes now. Header up by Hotspur. They weren't switched on at all for that. You actually mentioned that, Dion, didn't you? That for the Kulusevski fouling Grealish that they're looking to take the set pieces quickly, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola must have seen something. He must have said, listen, they do switch off when the ball goes dead, so what happens when the ball goes dead? We switch on, and that's exactly what City have done. What we used to call hand-on play. You stop the ball, put your hand on the top of the ball, hand on, and play quickly, and that's what City have done, and they've caught Spurs with their back to the ball. Nobody switched on. Got fortunate there, very fortunate.
10 minutes into the second half. The voice of Dion Dublin on BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service, as Manchester City playing in their sky blue shirts and white shorts from right to left, just in from the left touchline, not quite 30 yards out from goal, but it's going to be an in-swinger from Alvarez. No, he's going to leave it instead. It's an out-swinger. Bernardo Silva takes it, headed away by Emerson under pressure. Grealish actually presents the ball to Kulusevski. It's 2 against 4. Kulusevski looks for the diagonal ball. Grealish can't cut it out. It will reach Son. Son on the edge of the area manages to evade one challenge. Inside to Brennan Johnson. His shot is charged down. He had 2 players to his right, and it's gathered in by Edison.
Yeah, numbers back though. Sky blue shirts flooding back, sprinting. When you do a recovery run, it's always in a straight line. Get back as quick as you can.
And now Manchester City go long, and Foden getting round the back of Udogie, who tries to pull him back. Foden eventually loses his balance. Referee says Simon Hooper play on, as Davis to Hojbjerg. Little dink forward ball goes out of play for a Tottenham throw. That's where Tottenham's threat has come, on the break, on the counter-attack. Cries of come on City from this full house at the Etihad, as Emerson to Basuma. His forward ball reaches Lo Celso. Basuma is free. Instead he finds Hojbjerg. Basuma now on the halfway line. Basuma might just be able to have a little bit more licence to get further forward now that Hojbjerg's on, and that's disappointing. Kulusevski right in front of the assistant referee. Triggers the flag, offside free kick.
And that is so frustrating. They did well there, Spurs got out to a few little nice triangles, and then your winger's offside. You can see all the way down the line.
Tottenham Hotspur, the 3rd team in the top division history in England to lose 3 in succession after going 10 unbeaten. They'd picked up 26 points out of a possible 30, and that record is from Huddersfield Town and Sheffield United. Huddersfield in the 1920s, and Sheffield United in 71-72. But to repeat that no team has ever scored first and then lost 4 Premier League games in a row, but that is the statistic that faces Tottenham Hotspur as we approach the hour mark here on 5 Live. Simon Hooper just having a word with Akanji and Lo Celso. Was Lo Celso again involved?
I think it was Lo Celso and Kyle Walker, sort of like chest to chest, a bit of a bump, and then I just see Son go over to Kyle Walker and replicate it, having a bit of a laugh. Good to see.
Did he not have his 3 Weetabix this morning, Lo Celso? He just seems a little bit...
He's edgy, isn't he, tonight?
He is edgy.
Very edgy tonight, yeah. Waspish, I'll take that.
2-1, Akanji out to Grealish, high on the chest, brings it under control in one movement, right-footed, hits the ball in field. Bernardo Silva, he's got Foden to his right. Silva cuts inside, challenge came in from Brennan Johnson and just took it away from him. The little nudge out of possession. Johnson now can run forward on that far side, the Tottenham left, playing from left to right. 58 minutes played. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and also live on the World Service. Lo Celso controls the ball, turns, waits. Short forward ball to Porro. That was the right back appearing on that left-hand side, and now Son level with the area, waits for some support, looks through Udogie. He had Udogie and Porro trying to join that attack. Cleared away. Davis. They've left the 2 central defenders back. Everybody else is forward for Tottenham. They're not sitting back. They're looking for the equaliser, and they're just starting to grow in confidence as they keep the ball a little bit better. Hojbjerg, Basuma, Lo Celso. Manchester City have got everybody back behind the ball. It's an absorbing game.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But the difference is when Spurs get the ball in this right back area in front of the dugouts, they haven't got that crossfield ball because Johnson's come infield. They haven't got an out ball.
Brennan Johnson caught as he tried to turn away from Kyle Walker, and the former Tottenham Hotspur player and the Manchester City captain Kyle Walker gives away a free kick, which is already taken. Emerson to Højbjerg, tried to get Kulusevski away. That was the interception from Gvardiol, and there was a foul spotted by Simon Hooper, and he gives a free kick to Manchester City, who are looking to maintain this quite formidable record really in 2023 at home. They've won 24 of their 25 games, and of course it was Liverpool the exception by stopping that winning streak. They've lost only one of their last 48 home games in all competitions, and during that time they've scored 153 goals and only conceded 37 before today. That tells you how much of a force they are here at the Etihad. Jack Grealish is going to go into the book of Simon Hooper. He was awarded a free kick was awarded against him for handball, and then he kicked the ball away, and so Simon Hooper shows the England international a yellow card.
Yeah.
And in fact, Jack Grealish now will miss a reunion with Aston Villa. That will be his 5th yellow of the season.
Wow.
So they've got an injury to Doku, and both Rodri and Grealish have picked up their 5th yellow cards of the season. So Grealish will not be returning to face his former side at Villa Park on Wednesday night, because he and Rodri are both suspended.
Yeah, and that will hurt Jack as well, especially for something as petulant as kicking the ball away. Referee had no choice. The ball's about 15 yards away from where it should be. Jack toes it away. Referee just shrugs his shoulders. What do you want me to do? He says to Jack.
Just sensed that the Manchester City crowd just realising that, trying to give their side a little bit of a lift despite leading, but Tottenham are seeing a little bit more of the ball. The defence hasn't come under a great deal of pressure, but certainly its atmosphere a little
changed,
louder.
isn't it? It's changed, isn't it? It feels edgy on the pitch. It feels edgy off the pitch as well. There's a few more little one-on-one battles as well. Johnson and Walker down the left-hand, right-hand side.
Was at Arsenal yesterday, and Arsenal were comfortable for so long, and yet Wolves got a goal back and made it a rather nervy finish in the last few minutes from Cunha. And certainly Tottenham have showed that when they can get it forward, they can cause a problem. And the ball over the top, looking for the run of Udogie. Flag has stayed down. Udogie enters the penalty area. Edison was quickly off his goal line. It's a late flag. A very, very late flag, which they're told to do.
Yeah, they are told to do it. It is frustrating. I won't get away from that. It's very frustrating, but he's about 2 or 3 yards offside anyway, so no harm done.
But there are the warning signs if they're not to get the third goal.
Yeah, and you know, City have dominated the possession as they do 99% of their games. However, there's only one goal in this one.
Ball goes back to Edison. Beautifully taken off the chest by Walker on that far side. Foden lays it off to Bernardo Silva, runs forward. Haaland stabs it back for the run of Bernardo Silva ahead of him. Right hand side of the penalty area. Turns. City still lead by 2-1. Foden back towards Bernardo Silva once again. Walker takes it on and runs a little bit in field. We've got everybody back behind the wall at the ball at the moment. 63 minutes played here on 5 Live. Here is Gvardiol away from Kulusevski. This is a Tottenham Hotspur side that is missing 10 players. But regardless of that, Ange Postecoglou will not sacrifice his principles. Gvardiol waits to take the throw on the left. During 6:06 as well, that's coming up after this game, we'll try and bring you the live reaction from Postecoglou and Guardiola into Chris and Robbie as Foden, far side, back to Rodri, his forward ball. Alvarez looks for a sight of goal. Alvarez is unable to get that because Emerson was closing him down out of defence, and then Gvardiol's flighted ball over the top, out of play for a goal kick, 2 onto the home team.
Yeah, Gvardiol just trying to leave it into an area there, that little diagonal ball that we like. Haaland pulled away, Foden was in there as well. Bernardo Silva all waiting for the perfect ball. It didn't work that time, but feels like only a matter of time that City will get their third goal.
Here is Lo Celso. Basuma under pressure as he runs back into his own penalty area, back to Vicario, and again, I mean, I'm a neutral, but I'm on the edge of my seat there as there's 3 City players closing Tottenham down as the rain falls a little harder here, and you're thinking they're going to get caught out in possession here in their own penalty area.
Well, while you're on the edge of your seat, don't nudge this hot blanket off my legs, please. Keep that on my legs, thank you very much.
I won't, because I've tugged a little bit to the right. Here is Akanji inside the centre circle to Walker, able to bring the ball under control. Foden's ahead of him.
You can see as well that Jack Grealish is right in front of us here. He's not moved 5 yards away from this left wing for City. It's always the out ball. He's told to stay here exactly where Doku was. That's the out ball all the time.
He's a different player though to Doku, isn't he? Because he'll slow it down, whereas Doku wants to try and take the man first time.
Yeah, and that's what Doku is. They're very different, and that's what Pep Guardiola has. He has 2 very, very different players, both world class on their day as well. So it keeps the fullbacks and the defenders thinking, do I go tight, do I not go tight?
Well, Pep Guardiola has lost more games in the Premier League against Tottenham Hotspur than any other, 6 out of 14. Don't necessarily think that he'd have feared the worst when they conceded the early goal. The fact that they came from behind, from 2-0 down to beat Leipzig on Wednesday. When Spurs were last here in January, they came from 2-0 down to win by 4-2. But he certainly knows about the quality and the way that Tottenham like to play their football under Postecoglou. As Son out to Johnson, far side the left. Emerson now coming forward from central defence to Kulusevski. Kulusevski's got a habit of scoring at the Etihad. Enters the penalty area right hand side, tries to cut it back, blocked, back towards the Swede. Now with Emerson. Emerson on this near side, the right to Kulusevski, almost level with the penalty area. Now they lose it. Grealish towards Alvarez. Emerson slides very quickly into the challenge, and they get a corner that took a deflection on its way through. And all of a sudden, those Tottenham shirts go forward with a set piece at 2-1 down.
Yeah, I mean, if Spurs could be a little bit sharper, they're going to create more chances. This is a good chance for Spurs, by the way. 2 Spurs players edge of the box not being marked.
Every sky blue shirt is back in the penalty area away towards our right. Corner kick, right hand side. In it goes, right down the throat of Ederson, who comes striding out in that vision of green on this dismal afternoon to collect.
Yeah, you can see on the screens in front of us, you just had a replay of that, and it's a massive shout of keepers. All the blue shirts out the way, taking charge of that situation for his defenders. Brilliant.
2-1 to the champions. Basuma. Guardiola just cuts a little frustrated figure. His arms went aloft in frustration. We're midway through the second half. You're listening to 5 Live in the World Service, also available on the BBC Sounds app. And Manchester City have a slender lead. Emerson on the edge of his own penalty area. Basuma, closed down by Bernardo Silva, runs towards Vicario. He finds Basuma, closed down again, this time by Grealish in his penalty area. Back towards Vicario. Unfazed, undaunted, Tottenham will try and play out from the back. Ben Davies towards Højbjerg. It was a hurried ball from Højbjerg. That was Udogie, the left back, playing as a left winger.
Yeah, they've got the switches of position off to a tee at the moment, Spurs. I do like that City have had Akanji in midfield as well. They've had Diaz in midfield.
Here is Son. A release. Lo Celso opens up for Lo Celso, and he shoots, and he bangs the back of the net. What a fine goal by Lo Celso. And Tottenham Hotspur, growing in confidence in the second half, have levelled 2-2.
Great finish, by the way. Really good finish. Lo Celso receiving the ball, edge of the box. He's right on the centre of the D. Few good runs across his eye line, moving the defenders about. Bit of space on his left foot. He just shifts it onto his left foot, into the D, edge of the box, and he just curls it left hand side past the keeper. Ederson has no chance. It's a lovely curling finish, centre of the D. I don't think the keeper got anything on it, and I do believe it might have hit the post and went in. Lovely finish, cultured left foot, curls it in the corner. Let's have a look at this. I think the keeper may have got something on it, but not enough.
Tell you what was interesting, it was the run of Son.
That's the run that takes the eye line of the defenders
and creates that opening for him.
Absolutely, yeah. I couldn't see who it was, but I'd just seen that shirt go across. the eye line of Lo Celso, takes the defenders to the right-hand side. Lo Celso goes to the left. There's the space. That's why Son made that run for his teammate. Game on.
Well, in midweek against Leipzig, it was the first time in 23 home games that they conceded more than once, Manchester City. And they've conceded again that now today, another 2 goals as Tottenham Hotspur are level. And full credit to Tottenham. You know, they've stuck to their game plan and it paid off. You know, you think of the risk and they've got the risk and the reward from playing out of the back.
The risk is an understatement. They are taking so many risks at the moment.
Now Kulusevski on the overlap. Hojbjerg with a cutback, strikes Rodri. Rodri didn't keep it in play. It's going to be a corner kick to Tottenham Hotspur. This game could go either way now at 2-2.
Yeah, and I think Spurs are enjoying these set pieces as well, because they must have done lots of stuff on the training ground for this situation, knowing full well that City have every sky blue shirt within 10 yards of their own goalkeeper.
2-2. A depleted Tottenham Hotspur, undeterred, took the lead, then were 2-1 down, and they've pegged City back. Corner kick, right hand side, comes out towards Lo Celso, hits it first time. That took a deflection, and that was very close. It's behind for another corner kick. He struck that very, very true.
Yeah, he did. He had to move his feet right on the edge of the box, slightly on the angle. And I think it's Jack Grealish. It is Jack Grealish closing down and getting a heel on it, saving his goalkeeper, making the save. Good defensive work from Jack Grealish.
Tottenham Hotspur now have got designs on taking the lead here. Another corner kick. John Stones is warming up away towards our right hand side. There must have been a briefest of VAR checks there, as now the corner can be told to come in. Headed out by Haaland, edge of the area, might fall to Hojbjerg, blocks it, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Lo Celso, incidentally, he scored against Aston Villa. His previous goal was 2 years ago against Mura in September 21. He's now scored in successive games to take his tally into double figures for Tottenham Hotspur. The West Indies are chasing that England total of 325. How are they getting on? Dan Norcross.
They've started pretty well. They're 33 without loss halfway through the 6th over. Sam Curran's having a torrid time. He had a bad time out in India with the ball. His first 3 overs have gone for 26. But Gus Atkinson, his Surrey colleague at the other end, is keeping things tight. 33 without loss, 5.4 overs gone. That target 326.
Rico Lewis is going to be coming on for Manchester City, getting his final instructions from Pep Guardiola. As Manchester City, who've drawn their last 2 games in the Premier League against Chelsea and Liverpool. They've not gone 3 successive Premier League games without a win since March and April of 2017. I was listening to 606 last night on the way back from Arsenal. They had an Arsenal fan call in to Chris and Robbie, and they said, what do you want the result to be tomorrow? Are you cheering for Tottenham? And he went, no, I'll take a draw. That Arsenal fan might well be happy with the outcome if it stays like this. Don't forget 08085909693, the number to call. Rico Lewis is replaced by Phil Foden, because of course Pep Guardiola will have that trip to Aston Villa in his mind as well in midweek, a game you can listen to on 5 Live, and then they travel to Luton Town away next Sunday. At 2-2 here, now in the pouring rain at the Etihad with 17 minutes remaining. What about the influence of Hojbjerg since he came on at the start of the second half?
Yeah, just steadying really. I think it's possibly his experience and his sort of game know-how, and maybe telling the players around him what to do, when to do it. So in-game management, I would imagine, that is important to the Ange Postecoglou with Hojbjerg coming on.
Walker back to Ederson. There's been some excellent goals scored today. If you haven't yet seen the McAllister goal for Liverpool, then definitely tune into Match of the Day at 10:30 on BBC One, as Porro catches Grealish late, and he's going to go into the book. And so Porro is the second Tottenham Hotspur player to be booked. But that Lo Celso one was a good strike, good curling effort to level it at 2-2, and we've got 16 minutes remaining.
Yeah, it's culture. He doesn't flash at it at all. He knows how good his left foot can be, and he just curls it in the corner. Keeper gets a bit on it, but not enough. He's made this last 15-16 minutes very, very interesting. And I'm surprised that Pep Guardiola hasn't thought about taking Rodri off, to be honest with you, on a yellow card.
Ball played forward. Vardiol tries to switch play. Tottenham fans are in good voice away towards our right-hand side. Don't think that Haaland has actually had a shot on target. He's had the 2 efforts, the sitter that he missed, and then he skied one in the first half. So despite the fact that they aren't playing with a regular centre-back, Haaland, I don't think, has had a sight of goal yet.
Yeah, I don't think Spurs fans will be happy to hear that. Don't know, to be honest with you.
Here is Rodri powering his way forward to Rico Lewis with the cutback, and it's just clipped over the top by Rodri, who continued his run into the penalty area. He was 7 yards out from goal. Had he not got there, it would have fallen to the man I've just been talking about, Haaland, and as it is, he just run it over and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, when they break as well, Rico Lewis just pulling it back to Rodri. Rodri's kind of reaching behind him, level with the near post, or beyond the near post, and he's just trying to rake it back towards goal. Not on that time, but yes, Haaland was waiting for it.
Here is Emerson, goes to ground under the challenge of Alvarez. The referee says no foul. Tried to stay on his feet. Porro is there, back towards Emerson. Still has Alvarez snapping away. Ball is passed back towards Vicario, controls it and eventually gets it away left-footed. Son coming back, tries to flick it on with his head. Didn't really get much of a touch. Runs through towards Diaz. Manchester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2, 5 live with 14 minutes remaining. Bernardo Silva out wide the right. Rico Lewis in field to Akanji midway through the Tottenham half. Come on City is the chant from the home support. Walker spreads play, diagonal ball out to Grealish, level the penalty area on the left, plays the ball back inside. Vardiol runs forward to Rodri. Rodri goes square. Akanji to Bernardo Silva, onto his chest. Rico Lewis is ahead of him in the penalty area if he wants. Bernardo Silva tried to play the ball towards Akanji, who was joining the attack in the penalty area. Blocked, runs out of play for a throw. Dion.
Yeah, seen Akanji get forward on many occasions, sat in that midfield as well, leaving Diaz and Kyle Walker at the back. There's a 2 marking Son. Akanji's done well in that area, I've got to say.
Ball squirts out to the right for Bernardo Silva, infield to Rodri. Rodri, though, closed down by Son, under pressure. He plays it a little bit backward of square for Grealish, who retrieves it. Grealish inside, Rodri central area. Gvardiol now provides the width. Gvardiol left corner of the area. Tottenham have got everybody back behind the ball. Here is Ruben Diaz. Tottenham's players are complaining to referee Simon Hooper as the ball is into the penalty area for Bernardo Silva. The angle is tight, closed down by Udogie. Højbjerg has gone down to his knees, which will just prevent a quick corner kick from being taken by Bernardo Silva.
When he went down, he was down for a good, what felt like 2 or 3 minutes. It was possibly 15-20 seconds, and the referee didn't stop it.
Corner taken short. Bernardo Silva opens it up. Rico Lewis chips the ball into the penalty area, headed up by Udogie, comes to Gvardiol. Couldn't get his right foot over it, around knee height, right-footed volley off target, goal kick, 2-2, and we have 12 minutes remaining on 5 Live.
Yeah, this is a good game. It's an intriguing game because even though City have the lion's share of possession, Spurs are still in it. They break very quickly. They're being very resilient. They're sticking to the game plan as Ange Postecoglou said they would. Anything can happen. Last 15 minutes, 13 minutes.
When I was listening to Ange Postecoglou in the press conference and I was hearing his thoughts on VAR, he was asked about sin bins and he went, bin it, mate. And I'm thinking, you're the type of guy I could quite happily go and have a pint with.
Yes, yeah, he'd have to buy all the beer though, unfortunately.
Well, there is that. Lo Celso, who got that equaliser for Tottenham Hotspur, has come off, and Oliver Skipp has come on. Last time he started in the Premier League was on the opening day at Brentford, so he's only had a bit part role since then. But Skipp is on, fresh legs in the midfield for this Tottenham Hotspur side. 2-2 with just over 10 minutes remaining. Basuma back after suspension, finds Skipp, back towards Basuma, and now he's stopped in his tracks. Alvarez plays it back, forward ball, Grealish, Højbjerg slid into the challenge. Grealish went to ground, went for the ball. Grealish stays on his knees. They share an exchange of words. A little cheeky smile from Jack, who was jumping Jack after that challenge there, and it'll be a free kick to Manchester City.
Yeah, another dangerous area, this one. Diaz going up on the angle, halfway into Spurs' half, slightly left of centre. Bernardo Silva's on it, hands on hips. All the big guns are going for the diagonal, but there's something on here. They've got something up their sleeve here, City.
Quite a high line actually from Tottenham Hotspur as well. Just outside the D of the penalty area. Manchester City playing from right to left. Free kick to be taken by Bernardo Silva. It arcs its way in. It's headed out by Davis. Akanji will collect it far side the right. 10 minutes remain of normal time. BBC Radio 5 live at 2-2. Rico Lewis to Bernardo Silva. Glides his way into the penalty area. There's a foul there. And that was spotted by referee Simon Hooper. I think he's had a good game, the referee.
Yeah, I think he's done well. He really has. He's given out a few yellow cards, but a lot of it's petulance and persistent fouling. So yeah, he's done okay, the referee. He really has. And you can always tell when a referee has a good game. You don't really hear or see much of them, which is good. They just get their job done, and he's done well today.
That's why I'm not a fan of sin bins as well. Take the pressure away from the referees. Stop increasing pressure on referees with VAR and sin bins and the like. Used to say a good referee you'd never see. I mean, it's very hard not to see the referees because they're being asked to do so much. Anyway, that might be a potential talking point for you for 6:06 that's coming up. 2-2 here at the Etihad. They've lost the ball. Now it's with Haaland in the penalty area with a cut back. Grealish strokes it in. And Manchester City are back in front with 9 minutes remaining. And Jack Grealish has scored his first goal in 27 appearances. His first since April. And Manchester City lead by 3-2.
Yeah, again, Tottenham just trying to do what they've been told to do, play out from the back again. City are there in numbers, squeezing, putting Basuma under so much pressure. He's turning to the left, blue shirt, turning to the right, blue shirt, nowhere to go. And then City just do what they do. They just feed Haaland in, down the right-hand side, level with the 6-yard box. He pulls it back to the penalty spot. A substitute, Jack Grealish, is going to chew them up and eat them all day.
His 49th career goal gives Manchester City the lead. And if there was that element of disappointment that he'll be suspended for the trip to Villa Park in midweek, he scored his first goal since Southampton again back in April, and he might well be the match winner. 3-2 to Manchester City, and he couldn't miss, could he?
No, he's not going to miss there. It's on his right foot, his penalty spot, nobody's in goal. Concentration, good connection, and City are where they want to be, in front yet again.
For what is, or likely to be, a 28th game unbeaten at home in all competitions since a year ago when Brentford triumphed here last November. 46 points out of a possible 48 in 2023 at the Etihad. With 49 out of 51 if it stays like this. 7 minutes remaining of normal time. Edison out towards Guardiola. Ball forward by Porro, given away towards Guardiola, tries to retrieve the situation. Skip picks up now towards Kulusevski. Kulusevski round the back. Grealish has gone with him, enters the penalty area on the right hand side. Kulusevski holds on to the ball. Tottenham aren't finished just yet. Skip towards Emerson. A crouching Guardiola looks concerned. Back to his feet as he watches on. Ball scooped forward. Oh, that was late. Guardiola catching Skip. That was high. It was late. It'll be a free kick. And it's just going to be a yellow card shown to the Croatian international.
Yeah, committed to that, didn't he? Guardiola really did. Kulusevski just getting there just a split second beforehand. He's actually trying to kick the ball itself, Guardiola. Studs are showing though, and it's a dangerous height. Referee gets it right. It's only a yellow card, that'll do. Great area for Spurs though, this one.
So Porro's going to take it. 3-2 to Manchester City. One of those games, despite the cold, despite the wet conditions, that you just want to keep on play as long as you can for the referee in his stoppage time. It's been that enjoyable. Porro to take it, just in from the right touchline. Right-footed towards the far post, too deep though. Højbjerg is going to try and keep it in play, and he can't succeed, and it will go to play for a City throw.
That is not a bad ball, you know. That's ended up right on the far side of that 6-yard box. No Spurs player there at all. That's the one position you have to have somebody so the ball just doesn't go out, as it has done just now for a throw-in. Keep it alive. Nobody there at all.
I think my calculations, they've only been behind in the Premier League at the Etihad this year for something like 24 minutes, Manchester City. 14 of them have been against Tottenham in the 2 games, in January and today. Gvardiol was just being pulled back and held back by Kulusevski. And that will be a free kick that Gvardiol eventually is slow to get to his feet. 5 minutes of normal time remaining. Manchester City 3, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Edison will now take the free kick. Tuesday night we're at Kenilworth Road, Luton Town against Arsenal. Incidentally, Dan Burn is one of the guests with Mark Chapman, Chris Sutton and Micah on the Monday Night Club tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on BBC Radio 5 Live. And then we've got 3 nights of live Premier League action, starting off on Tuesday at Kenilworth Road, Luton Town against the leaders Arsenal, who will look to try and re-establish their 4-point advantage at the top. But they've got Liverpool and Manchester City in close pursuit after Liverpool had beaten Fulham by 4-3. And Manchester City leading 3-2. Bournemouth 2, Aston Villa 2, Chelsea 3, Brighton 2, West Ham United 1, Crystal Palace 1, with the other results in the top flight. City are going to make a double change as Kulusevski attacks, enters the penalty area right hand side, fires it across, rocks Diaz back onto his heels, and that header goes behind for a corner kick. Kovacic and Ake are going to be coming on. They've taken the corner quickly. Have Tottenham Hotspur sliding across. Was Rico Lewis behind for another corner? No, Simon Hooper says a goal kick instead as Son leads the Tottenham protest.
Yeah, well done, Rico Lewis, working hard. Big appeal for a goal kick, and he gets it as well.
So Kovacic, who's missed the last 2 with a thigh injury, bearing in mind that Rodri will be suspended at Villa Park, he'll be grateful of the late run out here, and Richarlison's going to be coming on as well as the changes are being made. Richarlison, who's coming back into the side after a groin injury. So Kovacic comes on, Ake comes on, and it's Gvardiol and Alvarez are the 2 players that are coming off. Let's get a cricket update, Dan Norcross.
It's slow going, really. 45 without loss halfway through the 10th over. That target 326. Brandon King nearly got out, trying to muscle a ball from Bryden Carson. He just got it over mid-on. Athanase, the left-hander, has 31 unbeaten at the other end. He looks pretty fluent, but at the moment Atkinson and Cars are keeping things quiet. Soon we're going to get to the spin. 3 more balls left in the power play, 45 without loss.
Thank you, Dan. The double change made by Manchester City, and Richarlison, who's missed the last 2 games with a groin issue, is the player who's coming on for Basuma for Tottenham Hotspur. By my watch, we're inside the last 3 minutes of normal time. I would think there'd be at least 5 minutes of added on time. Rico Lewis running forward for Manchester City. On the overlap is Bernardo Silva. He crosses the ball, and across the face of goal it goes, away from Haaland, out for a goal kick here on Dublin.
In between cross and shot there from Bernardo Silva, wasn't quite sure what to do. Only Haaland there at the far post.
With the goal kick, Tottenham play out from the back. Emerson. Forward ball, the little flick by Richarlison was a little bit too fanciful. Asking a lot of Son. Akanji tidies it up, and there's the pace of Kyle Walker to run the ball forward over on that far side, the right. He stops midway through the Tottenham Hotspur half. 3-2 still to the champions. As the ball then goes back to Ruben Diaz, and now back with Edison. I mean, that answer that he gave in the press conference about if you want to be a top team, you've got to stick to it. He might as well just play and record for Postecoglou, because he's going to be asked about it time and time again.
Yeah.
If they're going to still create the mistakes that they're making and then are being punished by them, but that's the way he wants his teams to play.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a risky way to play, but he's backing his players to do so. He's actually saying, right, listen, I trust you guys to do it. Go and do it. We are going to concede, but I believe we'll score more goals than them. Again, they've scored 2 more goals here at City as well, which is difficult to do.
Premier League title winner, Premier League Golden Boot winner Dion Dublin with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live with just over 60 seconds remaining. Manchester City lead Tottenham by 3-2. Kulusevski went to ground far too easily under the challenge from Ake. Kulusevski has stayed down. Rico Lewis passes the ball in midfield out towards Bernardo Silva. Ball chipped inside. Kulusevski now back on his feet. Rodri short of the halfway line, leaves it for Bernardo Silva. Another excellent game from Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, you know what? I've got to say, Bernardo Silva, brilliant, of course, as always. Rodri, brilliant again. But I think the backbone to City and the way they play has got to be Ruben Diaz. He's just outstanding. I've seen him in the tunnel at half-time going through players, telling them what to do, remind them of their responsibilities.
Brennan Johnson collects the ball for Tottenham, goes on the outside of Walker, delivers the cross, and the header is in! And Tottenham Hotspur are back level! And Dejan Kulusevski has scored for a third successive trip to the Etihad, and he may well have rescued a point right in the 90th minute. 3-3, incredible.
What a header, by the way. Brennan Johnson, I think Kyle Walker's thinking no one's going to take me on the outside. No one bothers because he's so quick. Johnson takes him on the outside, he just gets a yard, lifts it into an area, is possibly centre of the 6-yard box. Kulusevski, he makes his run from way out from the right wing, works hard to get there, times his run perfectly. Here he comes, I'm looking at the screen, he sprints, Ake does not know he's coming, and he heads it perfectly, level with the penalty spot, straight in. Oh, what a header! That's Ederson has no chances in the top corner. 3-3, what a cross, what a header.
Dejan Kulusevski, the last player to score away against the Premier League champions in 3 successive seasons, was Danny Murphy 20 years ago. But
Danny Murphy scored a goal? Come on, stop it.
In 3 successive seasons. But Kulusevski with a belting header, and Manchester City pegged back yet again. And those celebrations, not just in North London of a Tottenham Hotspur persuasion, but also for Arsenal supporters, I'm sure. But 3-3, 5 minutes of added on time, which we're now into, a minimum of 5. What a game. It has lived up to every expectation of its pre-match billing.
Yeah, it has, and it's not over yet. There's going to be another a chance per team, I would imagine. I don't know who's going to get the first one, but there will be one more chance per team, I think.
Here is Diaz, takes it on the chest. The Etihad is a little stunned at the moment. Kovacic runs forward. Grealish does well, goes down under the challenge from Kulusevski, and that's going to be a yellow card. Kulusevski booked by referee Simon Hooper.
Does that so well, doesn't he, Jack? Just ghosts past players, waits for the contact, gets a free kick in really good areas. Jack Grealish, he's got so much strength and poise and skill.
The resilience of this Tottenham Hotspur side and the spirit under Ange Postecoglou really coming to the fore. Bernardo Silva fires over the free kick, went past 2 City players. Ake didn't keep it in play. It'll be a goal kick. But 3-3, what a game.
It's been brilliant, it really has, and you've got to tip your hat to Spurs, because, you know, even though they haven't had the ball for large periods in the game, which happens to most teams when they come here, they've stuck to their guns, they've played the way they want to play. It's been risky, they've got away with it. 3-3 here at the Etihad. Wow, scoring 3 goals is a feat in itself. Getting a point is even better.
Especially given the circumstances too. So we're halfway through the 5 minutes to be added on. Can't believe that some supporters are actually leaving early. Why would you want to leave this game early doors? Goes long, does the keeper. Akanji beats Son in the air. Hit downfield by Diaz. Grealish, left-hand side. 6:06 coming up. 08085909693. We'll bring you the live reaction from the 2 managers into that programme with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage here on 5 Live. Son brings it under control on the halfway line, runs forward away from Rico Lewis. He's got Richarlison and Kulusevski. Kulusevski to his right. Kulusevski's cross takes a deflection. Oh, and the ball was almost teed up by Johnson towards Son. It went slightly behind him. Haaland then was clipped there by Emerson. Referee has played the advantage. Haaland looks for Grealish over the top. Now the referee blows his whistle. Why would you blow your whistle when the ball is over the top and Grealish is sent clear? Where is the advantage there? And you can really understand the frustration of the City players and Pep Guardiola. There was the advantage was Grealish was away.
I don't understand what the referee's done there, I really don't. Yes, Haaland got he got clipped, but he got up, he wanted to play on. So the advantage is there already. The ball through to Grealish was outstanding. He gets clipped, watching the replay, he gets clipped, Haaland gets up, he's 15 yards inside his own half, plays the ball to Grealish. Grealish is onside, he's 1-on-1 with the keeper. Referee pulls it up. I can't believe it. Possibly the only mistake he's made all game.
Really don't understand that. Emerson has since been booked, but Grealish was away. He was clear of the Tottenham defence. And you can really understand the frustration of Pep Guardiola, the City players, and indeed the Manchester City fans. Tottenham Hotspur to make another change. To credit Haaland, he sprung back to his feet after the challenge, hit it long, Grealish was in. Tottenham are going to make another change, and it is going to be a debut for Jamie Donnelly, an 18-year-old forward who's been an unused substitute on a couple of occasions this season, an England youth international who joined the youth system at the age of 8. He comes on for Brennan Johnson. But that is a talking point.
It is, because I thought the referee had done the right thing. He allowed Haaland to get back up on his feet and play the ball through. I thought that was the advantage, and then he pulls it back when Jack actually goes through on goal, 1-on-1.
Guardiola was livid. That might well have denied Manchester City the chance of a winning goal. Rodri hooks it back downfield, and it comes off the outstretched left boot of Udogie and behind for a corner kick. By my watch, we're in the 6th minute of added on time. It's 3-3 on 5 Live. Corner kick to Manchester City. This might well be the last bit of action. Played short, corner of the area by Bernardo Silva. Lewis back to Bernardo Silva. Skip goes into the challenge. Bernardo Silva wriggles free. Lewis plays it back towards Walker. What an enthralling game this has been. In it goes now by Bernardo Silva. Haaland's there, might fall to Ake. Cleared away though by Udogie. Only as far as Grealish. Tries to keep the ball alive. City maintain the pressure. Rodri plays it in. Haaland on the stretch, can't get there. Goal kick. Now the City players are surrounding the referee, saying one player was pulled back. There was a foul. That of course will be checked. And it will be a goal kick, as VAR will be having a look at that.
Yeah, I'm not sure which player was the one. Rodri just plays that diagonal ball. I think it's Akanji saying he got pulled back.
It would be a soft one. I think it was Skip.
Yeah,
there was an arm on the shoulder, but Akanji certainly made the most of it. That would be very, very harsh.
Yeah, it would be really harsh, but they are looking at it right now. Akanji is on his way, skips the wrong side. Akanji takes a tumble. I can't see that being a penalty at all.
We've been playing for 7 minutes of added on time. The boos at the end of this game will be directed towards Simon Hooper for that controversial decision not to play the advantage. It certainly won't be booing the football that we've been served up between these two sides. As Akanji hits it downfield towards Haaland, downward header, helped on by a leaping Lewis. Out towards Bernardo Silva, midway through the Tottenham half. Bernardo Silva now towards Grealish. Grealish lays it off first time to Ake. Ake plays it back out towards Grealish on the left-hand side. Still the referee, let's play continue. As Grealish's cross is blocked, and there indeed is the final whistle. Cue the chorus of boos for referee Simon Hooper. But what a game of football. Manchester City 3, Tottenham Hotspur 3, as the two managers embrace.
Absolutely brilliant. What a game of football that was. Both teams going for it, playing the right way. Simon Hooper, unfortunately, making that one mistake. It could have been a massive mistake. Jack Grealish 1-on-1 with the keeper, pulls it back. But I think both teams have got to be proud of themselves. Great football, great finishes, creating loads of chances. Both managers allowing their players to play the football that they want to play. I'm looking at Haaland now, he's running off the pitch. Here we go. Haaland's not happy with something at all. He's had a nudge off one of the Spurs players.
I think that might be Basuma who was there, or was it Lo Celso? But certainly Haaland reacted angrily. But what a game of football. We had 99 minutes, I think, in the end, but it's finished at 3-3. Son giving Spurs the lead after 6 minutes. A Son own goal then brought Manchester City level within 3 minutes. Foden, after a lovely work goal, put City ahead just past the half hour. Tottenham, though, were level through Lo Celso with 21 minutes remaining. Jack Grealish stroked City back in front after 81 minutes. But in the 90th minute, Tottenham for a second time came from behind, and then we had that late decision from Simon Hooper not to allow the advantage when Grealish was away on goal, and it'll certainly be a bit of a talking point. Steve, 3-3.
Dion, before today, no team had scored more than a single Premier League goal away at the Etihad this season, except Tottenham Hotspur, who'd got 2, and now they've got 3. And we've just seen that risk and reward play out in front of us, microcosm of their entire style under Ange Postecoglou. As a neutral, it is brilliant.
It is great to watch, but I'm surprised that any Spurs fan has any hair at all, because if I had any, I'd pull it out, to be honest with you, because it's very, very difficult to watch. The risk is incredible, Steve. The goalkeeper's got the ball 2 yards from his goal line, and he's playing little 1-2s with his fullbacks and his centre halves. But they've come to the Etihad and they've got a draw. They've scored 3 goals. They've played some really good football in the right areas at time. But it's got to be hard to watch if you're a Spurs fan.
Hard, but also brilliant for Tottenham Hotspur fans as Kulusevski just goes away to the Spurs fans, takes his shirt off and throws it in. That'll be a valuable one after that brilliant header got the point for Spurs. Also, Dion, the significance of this point beyond the league table. 3 defeats in a row before this. Nobody was questioning Postecoglou's style or the way he goes about it, but nonetheless, to get that run ended and to do it here is huge.
Yeah, it is huge. It is huge. It really is. I mean, some of the players in Spurs, Son today, I know he didn't do anything special, but the way that he's talking to his players, he's forcing players to do exactly what they should be doing. I mean, Johnson as well didn't really have much to do in this game, but his cross for the header, the equaliser, Kulusevski was of just pure quality. Taking Walker on the outside, nobody wants to do that. I just feel, even though City were in control of the game, possessional-wise, Spurs were always in it.
And just finally, Dion, Erling Haaland there at the end, he almost reminded me of Didier Drogba when he was going off the pitch at Stamford Bridge against Barcelona.
He wasn't happy.
I didn't catch any swear words coming out of his mouth, but he was on the warpath, wasn't he? The hair clip was coming out, it was flowing all over the place. Are they right to be aggrieved, do you think?
Well, yeah, I think so, because, he got clipped in the centre circle, and then he got up, because it was a free kick, but he got up and carried on. He knew that Jack Grealish was in a position to get on the end of a good ball. He got back to his feet, he played a good ball straight down the centre of the pitch. Jack Grealish is one-on-one with the keeper about 25 yards out. I don't think he's going to get caught. Referee pulls it up. That's possibly the only mistake Simon Hooper made all game. He had a great game, but the talking point is going to be, why did you blow your whistle?
Oh, there are so many of them for 606 08085 909 693. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage with you very shortly. Ian, Dion, thank you both very much indeed. What a game.